p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if this is your first time here, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I've uploaded new content. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And, if you don't, give it a thumbs down. Do all that good stuff. It doesn't, yeah, I'm not really that worried about that. But, interact in some sort of way, come on. Come on, that'd be great of you. And if you are a returning viewer, once again, thank you all so much for being here. Now, if this is your first time here, typically what I do is I go over some of the comic books that I pulled for the week, and then I get into the live chats as I talk with you all about some of the topics that I have that I've chosen to talk about. And if there's ever anything that you want me to talk about, something that I might know about, feel free to leave a comment down there in the comments section, so so we can chat and say what's up. That's what we do here, right? Anyway, again, thank you all so much for being here. I do greatly appreciate it. Now, like I said, just like every other single weekend, we are going to start it off just like we do every other show and talking about some comic books. And today, it's actually been a pretty busy week. I haven't got a chance to shoot many videos, but what I did get a chance to read some comic books. I did take the time to do that. I just didn't get time to actually sit down and record any videos. But again, thank you all so much for tuning here on Friday night once again for the prime time event of the evening. And that's why you're all here, right? I know it. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get things started off with everything issue number 2. This is like a horror kind of comic. It's really weird because we haven't really got anything too horrific yet in this book. And this book is written by Christopher Cantwell, and I believe did all the art was Ian J. Colbert. Let's see. Yeah, the writer is Christopher Cantwell. Ian J. Colbert is the artist, and the letters are done by Steve Wands. And this is on the Dark Horse Comics. Been an absolutely this has been a pretty good series. Basically, what's going on is in the small town of it's in Chicago. I can't just like a suburb of Chicago out there. I can't remember what city this is all of a sudden. But they just had and this is back in the 80s, in the early 80s, they just had a brand new retail store open up. And it's kind of, basically like a Walmart. It's a big box retail store opening up in this little town. And this place has something peculiar about it. And it seems like we learn a little bit more about that in here. And basically what happened in the last issue was we seen like the store manager of this everything store, she's like the store manager of it and everything. She acts really weird, a little peculiar, a little robotic, a little more, I guess like one of those corporate robots we see out there in the world. I'm sure if you've ever worked a corporate job, you've probably ran across somebody who's like this, who just seems kind of, I don't know, kind of fake. And then we seen that she was just kind of out for the night, and she was walking through this park and seeing this old homeless man just out of nowhere just burned, to just started caught fire and burned out of nowhere. And we seen there was a young man who his father was beating him and everything, just didn't want him around the house. He was an abusive father, but was telling his son he needs to be going to school or go out and get a job. And he happened to get a job at this place called Everything, at this big box retailer. And there was just some other peculiar things that happened in this small town. And small towns hold big secrets, and that's something that has definitely been very good about this series. What's kind of nice about it, it's like this horror tale, but we don't really get like, there's not really like a whole lot of horrific things that happen. And I think that's one thing that makes for a good horror. It's kind of more about what's implied, not necessarily something that's seen. And that's, just kind of some of the things that go on here. Just some of the imagery. I'll show you some of the art right there. The art is actually pretty good. Nothing too fancy. The colors go really well with this story as well. Again, I like the writing that's been going on here. Like, let's see, we see this this girl right here. She's a real estate agent, and oh yeah, this is good right here. But she's sitting there like and becomes like mesmerized, and like she's sitting there having her coffee. She burns her toast to a crisp, and she's just kind of, I don't know. She's just kind of out there. She's a character. I'll tell you that. She's a character so far. And then we go on here a little bit later, and we see the mailman come by this manager's house to deliver a package, and we see that he's got like this remote control on him, And by the time we get later into this book, we see it looks like he's like in his house or maybe in like a hotel room or something, and he's got like a number of these things sitting on a bed, like they look like monitors to people. And that's the weird thing is he leaves, and we can see that like she, he hits these little buttons on the thing, and then she turns like almost like a robot and goes eat eat eat, kind of like does what he's saying, like he's controlling her. Just some really weird things. And then, this was something else. This guy right here, he owns a stereo goods store back in the early '80s. He's a real audiophile. This guy right here, and you can see he's having some problems there with like his equipment in his store. So he's got his little sweeper there that's checking for the noises and everything, and he's just checking just the audio and everything on the output of this, and he's like, so weird this. So he goes to this other store, I believe, that is inside this Everything Mall, because it's like a huge store. And he goes in there, he turns on the stereos and everything. He's like, that's odd, yours sound like really good. And like, oh yeah, the guy, the salesman there in the store, and he's like, that's odd because all mine sound like crap, when he wasn't having a problem before. So I don't know, just some really weird things going on in this book, and I can't wait to get into more of these books. And it's just issue number 2, and I don't know, there's a lot to be said like with the art and the story in here, because we get a lot just like a really eerie feeling through some of these panels. But that's one of the first books that I read this week. Okay, let's see who all we got here. It looks like we got Tommy and General Zod. Thank you all so much for being here, guys. Now, did I? Okay, I'm pretty sure I did. You know what? I didn't. Did I forget to? Sorry, guys. Give me just a second here. I think. Did I? I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. We're all good to go. I don't know what's going on here. It's okay. It was acting funny on me on my end. I don't know. But anyway, the second one that I read here was Mountainhead issue number 2. This issue was really good. This one's on IDW Comics, and the first issue of this was really crazy. But this one's the story is by John Lees. The art is done by Ryan Lee. The colors are Doug Garbark, and the letters are done by Sean Lee. And this one's been kind of horrific too. You can see some of the art there. It's something a little bit different. But basically, what happened in issue number 1 was we seen that there was this guy and his kid. They were going out and breaking into houses. They were doing some B&Es, and you could see they'd been doing it for some time, because they were kind of a team. Like the kid climbed up this tree, hopped over into the second story on this house, climbed in the window, went and unlocked the doors and everything. And we seen they were kind of scavenging through this house. And you could see that the kid, just through some of the art and everything, the father was, instructing him on some things like, don't get too attached to this stuff, don't pay any attention to it, basically, like a lot of people think they are their possessions, basically. And so they just kind of that kind of stuff. I don't know, how would you say, stuff that a father who is in this kind of situation probably tell his kid to make him feel better about what they're doing, I suppose. But we've seen that they it is something they had a routine of. And after they get done robbing this house, they get back to a hotel room, and they're sitting there kind of talking, just kind of being chummy, just kind of buddy buddy, just like for real, like father and son, who are out doing breaking and entering into houses. And we could see through the story, we actually seen that the father was he was schizophrenic, and he was just like really paranoid about stuff. He was really really crazy, and how that had actually rubbed off on his son here. And he was basically telling his son like, hey man, like if we ever get caught up, if we ever get caught, you hear the sirens, man, you gotta you gotta make me a promise. You gotta promise, and he had a gun. He had a gun and everything. He's sitting there shaking. He's like, you gotta promise, if they ever catch up to us, you gotta kill me. If I'm not in the position I can do it myself, because they can't take me. They cannot take me. And so, like, really weird situation, and the kid's kind of like, yeah, okay, I promise. And so then we see what they went, the next night they went on another raid of a house to a place that they had been casing for a while. And while they were in there robbing the place, there was some old man there, some crippled old guy that they weren't aware was there. and he basically tells him like, "Hey man, I'm not sure what you guys are doing here, but if you want to leave, you better hurry because I already called the cops." And next thing you know, they book it to leave this house, and the cops were already there, and they took the father. The father did tried to shoot himself, and didn't hit anything too vital because he did get taken into custody. He was in the hospital. He ended up being okay, and the kid got taken into custody as well. And you could see, it looked like they were getting ready to, possibly, who knows what, put him in the foster system or whatever whatever they may have chose to be doing with him. Because they had to find out more about him. Well, this all happened in a little town in Oregon, and then the next thing you know, it turns out that this kid wasn't even actually the son of the guy that was using him to help rob houses. It was kind of like one of those things, like, you ever seen the movie Guardians of the Galaxy? Kind of like that, how Yondu went and kept Peter Quill. He's like, I kept you around, right, and didn't eat you because we were small and you could get into places I couldn't. It was kind of the same thing there with this father and this kid. So he ended up getting shipped off back to, man, I can't even remember where it was that he got shipped off to his real family. And that was the thing, is he got shipped off to his real family, who was in, let's see if they show it here. I remember they showed it somewhere. Um, I cannot remember, but it was in British Columbia, and so he ends up going back to his real family. By the time we get into the second issue, he has a problem adjusting to being in his real family because he's been away from them for years, and they were actually searching for him and everything. So, like, the second he was picked up by the authorities, they kind of realized who this kid was, and this man, who was claimed to be his father, had been making the rounds. He had been doing this. He was a career criminal, and actually, one of the times he was in the house, he stole this child, and it was this young boy. And so he's going, we see that he's back with his real family, and he's having a problem, like, really, like, fitting in, and plus he's been around this guy so long. Some of this guy's schizophrenia has actually rubbed off on the kid, is what we've seen in the last issue, and what we see more of in this issue. But it's crazy because not all of it seems to be complete schizophrenia, because there's some odd things going on here. As they're walking their dog with his essentially his stepsister. They're out walking their dog out in public here, out through this town that they live in, and they happen upon this crazy, just like, big old, just like, pile of, like, innards and meat and stuff like that, just like crazy stuff, and it's like steaming. It's like it's cooking. They're on the sidewalk, and they're like in the middle of winter, and then all of a sudden, like, this eye pops up that's watching them, and this kid, like, senses this all, and it's really crazy. And they just they've come across, like, a strange set of circumstances, and while they're there, basically what happens is this crazy old lady jumps out of that pile of snow, and basically talking about the mountain people going crazy, just absolutely bonkers stuff. And you guys can see some of that art there in this book. It's been, like, I don't know, it's really like a crazy kind of horrific read, I guess. I'm not sure how else to explain that. And just a lot of strange circumstances going on. And I remember in the last issue, it started off with, like, like a kid telling a narration, like, my father always said that if you spent too long up in the mountains, that you'll start to go crazy. The mountains will talk to you, and they call that mountain head. And that's what's been going on and stuff. Some really crazy things going on in these mountain cities. People acting just crazy, deranged. I don't really know how else to explain it, but it's been really good. And you guys see some of the art there. Really unique art. I don't know how to explain it. It kind of reminds me of, like, a I'm not sure what it really reminds me of. Almost like a Rugrats meets Ren and Stimpy, kind of like in a comic book. Really great stuff. Really great stuff. And that was issue number 2 of Mountain Head on IDW Comics. So you can go ahead, get here into live chats, and see what's going on. And we're probably going to keep it pretty chill tonight, guys. It hasn't been too crazy of a week. I'm not sure if you guys have actually checked out any of my morning movie chats, but I'm getting ready to go to LA Comic Con in the morning, so I'm probably going to keep this show relatively shorter than usual. Sometimes I've been going over 2 hours lately. Might keep it about an hour, maybe 90 minutes. Hard to say. How depending on how much fun we have here. But let's see. There was something I was wanting to do here. Here we go. talk. And if, um, all right. And I wonder if Perry and the Lurkers are going to be out today. Are they out lurking today? Okay, so yeah, here we go. Let's get into the live chats. Like I said earlier, we got Tommy, we got General Zod, LB is here, we got Saint Gilla, we got Darth Wacko, the Senate. Thank you all so much for being here today, guys. Yeah, like I said, got those 2 issues read so far. I've got a couple others I'm going to go ahead and talk about here. But let's see who we got. Tommy and General Zod saying hi. What's up, fellas? Tommy says I got 4 streams going. Very clean art. Yeah, in the everything book. Yeah, it's got a lot of clean art, and it really kind of helps set the story because like it looks like something like everything's polished. It's in this nice little town in the early '80s. Everything's all good, right? Right? I don't know. I don't know. Things are pretty crazy there. And yeah, like I said, it's kind of got like, it almost gives it like a creepy tone. And there's just some weird things that happen in this book that was really good. Um, Tommy says, I used to, very clean art, used to comics looking more like, I guess, busy looking. Yeah, it really kind of depends on what books you're reading. Like I said, I've really been getting into a lot of these indies. And like by indies like I wouldn't say Dark Horse Comics is by any means an indie publisher really. I mean, they're smaller press. I don't know if they're really necessarily indie. It's hard to say. Same with IDW Comics. They're pretty big and they get a lot of like licensed products, licensed franchise kind of things on their label too. So it's kind of weird. I'm not sure if they necessarily count as indies. Just like Image. Does Image count as an indie publisher anymore? I don't know. I mean, they're just not the big 2. You know what I mean? There's the big 2. There's DC and Marvel, and it seems like everything else is kind of referred to as indie. But I guess they're really not at this point. Lonely Banter says, I am here. Notifications have been sketchy lately. Well, I got started a few minutes late here, too. Went for a nice, after work, I got home. My wife had to go to work. She worked this evening. It sounds like she just got home a few minutes ago, but she don't always work on Fridays. But when she does, I mean, it's some good checks for overtime. I guarantee that because it's all overtime on Fridays. And yeah, she gets, I don't know, I think she gets paid pretty decently at her job. So that's her stuff. I don't ask her about how much she makes or anything like that. Hey, we're paying bills, and that I guess that's what ultimately counts, right? So yeah, I got home. I got home from work. Was hanging out here with the kids, and then I realized that our cat was out of cat food. So my son loaded up. We got my bicycle trailer all loaded up. Put some air in the tires. I put my different handlebars on my fixie road bike. Hooked the trailer up to the bike, and we rode out to PetSmart and got some cat food for the cat, and then we rode back. Got back here. I don't know, about 7:15. So, and it's 8:23 now. So maybe about an hour ago. This is a pretty good ride. I think it was about 12 miles. Nothing too major. So yeah, I got started a few minutes late, because then I had to get the kids fed and everything. Yeah. But Saint Gilla, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. He says, "Are you Hispanic? I am half. I am half Mexican. Yes, definitely. And then the other half is we got some Native Americans, some German, some Danish, and probably more than that. Probably more than I know. So yeah. What I always say is I'm the ultimate mutt. I'm the ultimate mutt. Let's see. Darth Wacko says, "What's up, man? How you doing, Darth Wacko?" Um, let's see. Everybody else just saying what's up. Having a good evening. And talking mountains. Noise. LA Comic Con. Yeah. That's gonna be pretty cool. I've never been to a Comic Con before, comic convention or anything like that. It was funny. I heard somebody, because New York Comic Con just happened last weekend. It was funny because I heard somebody saying like, somebody posted something like, man, aside from San Diego Comic Con, all these other Comic Cons, they're just cosplay cons, man. People just go there and walk around in their cosplay, and that's about it. I was kind of laughing, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure I'll have fun geeking out either way. You know what I mean? Because I've never been to one. So yeah, I'll probably take my camera. We're gonna get some pictures, get some video, all kinds of cool stuff. It's gonna be a good time, and hopefully, maybe I'll drop some of those videos for my Patreon supporters of the LA Comic Con, and maybe do something else here different for you guys. And if you guys are a Patreon supporter, I did just drop a new video for the Patreons just today over there for Patreons to check out. And in case in case you would ever like to make a donation, there are some links down in the description where you can send direct donations via Streamlabs, or even become a monthly Patreon supporter, or you can even make direct donations through Patreon as well. And it all just kind of depends. It's up to you. I mean, don't feel obligated to do that, but if you do, I do greatly appreciate that. And I've got just about enough now to order my new green screen. I'm going to order a big one because I've just got this little tiny one that's like, it's only about as wide as my arm length. So when I'm doing crazy stuff like doing like the trailer park reviews and stuff, I've got to stay really close to it because the camera's kind of out a little bit, and then so by the time you get the angle, like you can't move around too much. I can't flail my arms around and be crazy and silly or do anything like that. So a green screen is going to help out, and my Patreon supporters have been so awesome and almost got enough money to get a new green screen. And yeah, like I said, there's links down there, and you can see down here at the bottom all the names of all of my awesome supporters. Again, I do appreciate you all so much, and I appreciate you guys here. If you don't have money or don't want to donate money, I do appreciate you guys being here as well, for watching the videos, coming in here and interacting, just being part of my nerddom, I guess. And sometimes I'm not always talking about nerdy things here on the Trailer Park Live, so yeah. Again, thank you all so much for being here. But yeah, if you want to donate $1 or two, like I said, there's those links down there where you can go to, because I'm not monetized, you know what I mean? But I still put in a lot of work to this channel, and some people want to support that, and I do. Like I said, I greatly appreciate it. And again, you guys being here, liking these videos, disliking them, leaving comments, interaction, it all helps because. I actually had a couple of somebody on the stream the other day. I believe it was Perry. Perry, if you guys ever go check out, you know what, you guys need to do that. Go check out Perry Comics. He was here last weekend with his channel. They called Perry and the Lurkers, and what they do is they basically do they go through YouTube as he's live streaming, and Perry's just a cool dude anyway. And he goes through, gets on there, has his screen shared and everything, and he goes on to other YouTubers' channels and basically, I guess you could say he basically promotes them by getting on. He's like, okay, let's see who's dropping new videos, who's doing what, who's live right now, and he drops in and they'll check it out and be like, hey guys, check this video out. And like sometimes people will branch off and go to that creator's YouTube, and I mean he's kind of helping people out because like the other day we found this guy that had like 3, 4, 5 subscribers, like hardly anything. But he actually had some pretty good videos. So, he just got on there and, promoted him. And we're like, hey, cool. I think several of us went and subbed to him, went and checked out some of his videos. Pretty cool stuff. I can't remember the creator right now, but I went ahead and subscribed and checked out. I was like, man, he's got some pretty cool videos. And yeah, so if Perry and the Midnight Lurkers are out there, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? And if anybody found their way here through Perry and the Midnight Lurkers as well, thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you all so much for being here as well. So yeah, it's pretty good. Okay. Tommy says, never had a chance to go to a Comic-Con. Meaning, I've had many chances. I guess I've just never been to one. So, yeah. The Senate says, I'm 4 or 5 hours away from LA. Where out here are you, man? Because I'm in Lancaster. I'm like about an hour north of LA, which tomorrow it may be hard for us to get down there because apparently there's a section like where the 5 and the 14. I live right off the 14, near the 14, the Antelope Valley Freeway, where the 5 and the 14 and the 210 and all these. It's like the bottleneck to get from where I live down to LA, to get from Santa Clarita or Bakersfield down to LA, or to get from LA to up here. Like you gotta take this route. You pretty much have to take this route, otherwise you're taking a long route around. But there's some fires down there, right there by that big intersection. They had everything closed down. Apparently, it's been for like a while, and there's people probably didn't make it work today, and probably some people, and you know how some of these corporations are. They're probably in trouble. But yeah. Yeah, just crazy stuff. So we may have to leave kind of early tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? The Senate says, "What's the best indie or indie comic you have ever read?" As far as best indie, man, that's really hard to say. I've really been getting into more of the indies lately. I mean, I just started really just reading a year ago. But it depends on what you like. It really depends on what you like. But for me, man, I don't know, because there's several that I've really liked lately. But I think my favorite one, I like it for several reasons, and that's this one right here. That's Neon Future on Impact Theory Comics. And if you guys, I'm not sure what kind of music you guys are into, but if you recognize this guy right here, he is actually that character is actually, his looks are based off of Steve Aoki. Steve Aoki he's a DJ, and like a DJ like makes music and stuff, goes out and does these big festivals, and like I don't know, but apparently he's pretty big. People know him. He has a song called Neon Future. But yeah, this is probably, and it's on Impact Theory Comics. You can see that right up there in the front corner there. It's on Impact Theory Comics. And Impact Theory has a channel here on YouTube. Go look up Tom Bilyeu. That's Tom Bilyeu. I think that's what it is. And it'll come up. You'll see his picture on there. But his show is basically called Impact Theory. But he's a co-founder of this company called Impact Theory, and they started this comic label. I guess last year. It would have been late last year. Would it have been this year? Think it would have probably started last year, and they started releasing books this year. Either way, I would say this is it right here. And this just came out. This is the trade paperback of it, and you can see like that's absolutely beautiful book too, man. It's got this matte finish. I was talking about this. I'm about to hit 1 year on YouTube on November 29th, and on November 29th, I'm gonna pick a winner and give away a copy of this because it's my favorite one. I guess that's it right there. It's my favorite one. But what this is a cyberpunk tale that takes place 30 years in the future. And basically, what's happened is advanced technology has taken over all facets of our everyday lives. It's basically Turker Gerbs. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Turker Gerb! And it's basically put a lot of people out of work. So people are starting to live in poverty. Things it's just it's almost like it is right now, right? But anyway, people had started upgrading their bodies with this advanced technology. Like I've got this little plate in my on my collarbone now. But yeah, but like people have like crazy like arms and stuff, almost like Ghost in the Shell kinda, almost like that. Where they're just upgrading their body with these different things. Well, it became such a worldwide problem. People, like machines were taking over all these things, so people weren't making money. Economies, it was starting to crash. It was really bad. So basically, all the countries throughout the world dealt with it in their own way. And in the United States, they enacted Article 10, called the Return. And basically, what that did is it outlawed advanced technology. Now, basically, and what broke out here was a war between the augmented people who had chosen to upgrade their bodies with this advanced technology, and the authentic, who are people who have chosen not to upgrade their bodies with this advanced technology. And basically the United States had this organization, kind of like the ATF and all that stuff, called the CTG, and that's the Counterterrorism Group, who went out and hunted these augmented people. Now the government was just regulating this advanced technology. People still had the tech because people had technology in their bodies already. So what they did was they regulated it, and they said, you can only have so powerful stuff, just like the government would anything, right? Like they do everything. You know what I'm saying? So the counterterrorism group would go out and hunt these people who were still upgrading their bodies with this advanced technology. And there's different factions of these people out there who were upgrading their bodies with this advanced technology. But one of these people happened to be Kita Sovi, who we see here on the cover. He was like the leader of Neon Future, who is one of the part of the underground resistance. Now, there's another faction out there. Now, I'm not exactly for sure what they're called, what their organization is, but it's led by the Sinister Gecko, and they're basically in control of this place called the Loop. And the loop is kind of what you gotta go through if you want to sneak through and get in without going through like the government controlled sanctioned places to get from like the inner city where people who were augmented and things like that were welcome out to places where it was outlawed and people just didn't want you there. Like the world was segregated like that. And and basically the counterterrorism group, there was this TV show on TV, and I can't remember I can't remember what the name of it was, but the leader of it, he was like the head of it, was who our main character is. His name was Clay Campbell, and so he was he was there basically hunting down all these people for the advanced technology. Let's see, it was called Return America was the name of the TV show. And so they went out there and hunted all these people, and they were getting high ratings because all the people sitting at home like, yeah, hunt them down, just like like I said, it's a dystopian, futuristic dystopian type future. So it was some really, really excellent stuff, and like you guys can see here, just some beautiful artwork in it too. Um, let me see here. Let me get into issue one and show you guys some stuff. Right here, you guys can see some of the art there. Just beautiful art, man. Beautiful artwork, and that's just there where because what happened is as they were out doing this, Clay Campbell and them, so basically when they went to hunt these people down, it was either get taken into custody or if you run, we're gonna kill you. So that's what they did, and they got high ratings for it because what happens is they all run, right? So it was a really big thing. So what happens here is Clay Campbell, they were after this, one of these big guys. He'd caught in a lot of people. They're always after like Kita Sovi and the people of Neon Future, trying to bring down this whole organization and just other place. And we could see that here at the very beginning, Clay Campbell had gotten a big bust, and then he was heading home and he was driving his car and he got in a car crash, and he died. And we see, as he was there at the scene of the crime, the ambulance showed up. They took him, tried to save his life. They hauled him up in the ambulance, and as they were driving down the road, there was a security guard there, and he's like, hey, let me get a picture of him. He snaps a selfie with Clay Campbell because they're like, oh, holy crap, dude, this is Clay Campbell. He's dead, man, he's dead. So they got a picture of him, and the other guy, the other EMT who was there in the ambulance with him, he's like, dude, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing, man? Like you're gonna get us caught up, and next thing you know, bam, they get caught up, like as soon as he took that selfie, because this underground other part of the underground organization, which wasn't Neon Future, or it might have been at that point. I think it still was at that point because eventually some people from Neon Future kind of splintered out. They turned against Neon Future in a way, not necessarily fighting against them, but not fighting with them. And one of the guys actually kind of betrayed Neon Future. But so they stop this ambulance, they get Clay Campbell out, and they take him to Keto Sovi in the underground in Neon Future, and they save his life using this advanced technology. Now, naturally, Clay Campbell is like the poster child of for all these authentic people, which they called Quakers. That was like their slur form, Quakers. And so he I guess, sorry, I got interrupted. I didn't see my son was there. But so they took him and they saved his life, and he had this advanced technology. Naturally, Clay Campbell didn't want it in his head. He didn't want to be part of Neon Future, so he went to Beverly Hills to see his mother, who had been missing him. And he goes into the house, and he had this face spoofer on, so she couldn't see the advanced technology in his head. So he gets there, and she's getting ready to beat him up, and he's like, whoa, hey, mom, it's me. She's like, oh man. She's like, what's going on? And then he showed her that he had this advanced technology. And she's like, oh, we're going to call your father. We're going to get this straightened out. So who she actually called was Clay Campbell's partner, who was Major EZ. And Easy shows up, and Easy was somewhat like of a father figure to Clay. So he shows up to round him up and take him in, and naturally, Clay runs. And, he ends up once again, he gets his ass saved by the people in Neon Future, and he gets away. And naturally, that's kind of how the rest of the story goes. Like I said, it's a cyberpunk tale, and it kind of follows a lot of the typical cyberpunk tropes. And I've heard people out there. I've seen a couple other reviews on it where people have kind of said that. I'm like, I get what they're saying there, but like I think when you're dealing with cyberpunk, that's just kind of how it is. That's just cyberpunk. I don't care what cyberpunk you're reading, watching, anything like that. They all kind of follow the same tropes, right? And so yeah, and it was a very, very good book, very, very good. And naturally we see he has the hero's journey. He's reluctant to help out. We see he goes here into the Neon Guard, meets Kita Sovi and their avatars and everything there. Learns. Just kind of starts learning the ways of the Force, right? Or learning what the Matrix is, and they make a lot of references to that throughout this book as well. You can see some. I've done other reviews on this whole book, on this whole series, but yeah, they go through. And he goes through the hero's journey. One of the people that actually helped save his life a couple of times ends up getting caught up by the CTG. So he's like, just kind of like Neo did in the Matrix. He's like, well, let's go save him. So he ends up leading this kind of conquest to go out with the other augmented people to go out and save his friend's father. Very good book. Like I said, I am going to be giving away a copy of this at my 1 year anniversary here on YouTube, and that's on November 29th. So make sure you guys stick around for that. And to get entered into that, you have to be subscribed and you have to leave comments in any of the videos that I'm doing, and probably show up to that live stream. Would probably be a good idea too, right? um, but yeah, and that's probably my favorite indie title that I've read that I've been reading. Um, let's see, and gosh, that see one question got me going on for a long time. Darth Wacko says, "Do you read Valiant comics?" You know what? I haven't read many Valiant comics, but I actually read one the other day. What's up, Logan? Where's mommy at? Have her help you. Have mommy help you. Um, so I've read one book out of Valiant Comics, and that was a series called Livewire. I actually just found issue number 1 laying in the dollar bin at my local comic book shop. It wasn't the dollar bin; it was the half price bin. So I went ahead and picked it up, and it was called Livewire, and it was an okay book. It wasn't bad. Just I don't know, just the way it wasn't really for me. But I'm sure there's definitely somebody out there that likes it. But it had like this female superhero, and I don't know, just how she came upon her powers and everything. She's kind of got, kind of like the same stuff. Kind of got like upgraded parts in her body, and she's not like completely like human. She got upgraded parts and stuff. I don't know. It was an okay book, and I read that. I think that was about a month, 2 months ago, and it was okay. It wasn't bad or anything. But if you have any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see if I can get a chance to check something like that out. The Senate says, "Is the cat skinny or fat? My old one was." My old one was a fat fuck. He's I'd say he's pretty skinny, and he's only a year and a half old. I don't even know if he's 2 years old. Not too long ago, he actually broke his leg. We had to take him into the vet and everything. Man, it cost $3,000, man. $3,000, man, and it was gonna cost more than that. But the doctor was nice. Yeah, right. I think it cost more than my collarbone surgery, man. Shoot. Dang, man, these dang animals. If he was an older cat, I would have just said, "Can we, But he's a young cat, so I'm like, okay, we'll go ahead and keep him around. Darth Vader says, "That's funny. I just got ancestry DNA to see what different races I am." Yeah, and those things are pretty reliable. I've heard a lot of people come back with a whole bunch of stuff. Like unsuspecting things like, "Oh, I'm related to Dwayne the Rock Johnson." Funny stuff. Um, Kermit the Log, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. Tommy says, "I don't trust those places." Oh, yeah, like the Ancestry.com and all that stuff? Yeah, dude, like the doctor's already got your stuff on file, bro. Like, you're already in the system. It's too late. It's too late. Maverick MX, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Um, let's see. Uh, The Senate says he looks like a ninja version of John Wick. Not really. I mean, it's like I said, they kind of get into like the neon future. It's kind of more like a little more like Matrix kind of. But he's pretty good. Oh, Mike L, what's up, man? He says, "What's up, Trinita? What's up, man? How you doing?" Um, the Senate says, "Oh, Hemet. It's basically the Badlands of California. It's a drop-off place for ex-criminals, so that why they are homeless bums everywhere." Yeah, dude, I'm up in Lancaster, bro. I'm up in the desert, pretty much where the Metrolink from that goes down to L.A. This is where it ends. So I'm right there with you, Senate. I'm right there with you, bro. Maverick MX says, "Be careful, those fires are looking mean." Yeah, we're gonna have to take an alternate route to get there, and that means we gotta. Which I don't mind taking that way, but it's gonna be crazy. Um, Daddy Ben says Trinity talks faster than his internet. Um, let's see. Did I miss anybody else in the chat yet? Did I miss anybody else? We got Mike. All right. Looks like we got yeah, Mike. Yeah. Used to work with Trinity at Walmart. Yeah, man. It's been a while, man. Doesn't seem like it's been so long, but God, I think I left that store in what, 2004, 2005. Dang, man, it's been a while, dude. It's been a while. We need to get together sometime, Mike. Shoot, we need to get together. Um, Like I said, I'm this weekend, Friday, or not Friday, but tomorrow, getting ready to go down to LA Comic Con. Then Monday, like I said, I'm so excited about this. I've been flapping my gums about this all week. On Monday, I'm gonna go watch Three from Hell at the movie theater. The new Rob Zombie flick looks. I'm sure it's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be great. And then I'm sure there's probably going to be a tear jerking moment. You know, there's probably going to be a in memory of Sid Haig towards the end of it or something. I know they're going to do it, man. They're going to jerk them tears just through that, which like Devil's Rejects almost does that anyway. You know what I mean? It's a tear jerker kind of movie. But I'm gonna go see that on Monday. Then on Tuesday, I'm gonna head down to L.A. to the Chinese theater. I've never been to the Chinese theater before. I mean, I've drove by it many times, just never been there to it and seen a movie. But I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna watch the Saska sisters' new movie, Rabid. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Might actually get a chance to meet the Saska sisters. I am actually going to. I'm gonna take my comic book too and see if I can get them to sign it. Yeah, dude, that'd be awesome. Hopefully I can. Hopefully I'll do that. But dang, maybe I should actually take one of my issues instead of the trade paperback because the issues. Because I got the trade paperback, so I don't have to touch the issues, right? Yeah, maybe I should do that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What should I do? Have them sign the trade paperback or have them sign the individual comic? I don't know. I don't know. I think the individual comic might be better. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, and then that's gonna be on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I get a load of freight in for my work for my business. That's gonna be a crazy busy day. And then Thursday, get to go to a double feature of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. And I cannot wait for that. You know the bad thing is, man, like man, it's gonna be cost. It's gonna be it's cheaper for me to go watch the Saska Sisters movie down at the Chinese theater than my local theater up here. Going to watch Three from Hell and Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. You know why? Because they're doing this whole Fathom Events thing, just so they could charge like an extra $5 on top of the normal ticket price. Oh, you Fathom Events. I'm watching you. I know what you guys are doing. But yeah, that's gonna be a good time. Look, definitely gonna be a busy week for me next week, man. I'm gonna see if I can get video of it all. Some of that I might drop earlier for my Patreon supporters, and that's the awesome people you've been seeing scrolling down there across the bottom. So yeah, let's see. Maverick. Okay, we're talking about South Park. What did I miss? I missed something about South Park. Yeah, I like South Park, man. It's a funny show, dude. Um, the Senate says, I would have cybernetic arms and legs because that's all I need. Just block bullets easy. The Senate says they are racist against augmented people. I could picture the dialogue. We don't like you, augmented folk. They call them all. They got all kinds of names that they call them. He said the art reminds me of some Deadpool artists. I forgot which one. And it's hard to say because this the on this Neon Future, the writer is the story is by Jim Kruger, Tom Bilyeu, Steve Aoki, Matt Cullen, Dana Brower, and Samantha Levenshoe, and the artists are actually Neil Edwards and Jeremy Rapak, and the inker is Keith Champagne. Um, so yeah, I think Neil Edwards and Jeremy Rapak. I think they're both like dudes. Like I don't know. They're probably pretty well known dudes because yeah, they got quite a collection of people to get this book together. It was a really good book. I really liked it, and like I said, it's out of a small publisher. They've only got this one title so far, but they're actually getting ready to put out a second title. I think in the next few months, maybe at the beginning of next year, they're getting ready to come. And I can't remember what the name of it is, but they're getting ready to come out with a new. They're getting ready to come out with a new series over there on Impact Theory Comics too. So they'll have two titles out, and Neon Future is actually on basically on a break right now, and they're going to be bringing us 6 new issues here at the very beginning of the year as well. And I cannot wait to get those, man, because this series, like that's the one thing about the indie books I've been reading is they leave you wanting more. You know what I mean? Like you get to the end of the story and you're like, you can't end a book like that. You can't. You can't end a book like that, leave me hanging in suspense, wanting the next issue? What's wrong with you? Don't you know you're supposed to just give me a story that's just kind of a story and it ends like, okay, I'll read the next one. Like, like every other Marvel and DC title that I read. Yeah. Yeah. How dare you make me want to read the next issue? Ugh, what's wrong with you? There's actually a few issues out there on Marvel that I've really liked lately. Like I said, that Jonathan Hickman series, The Powers of X and House of X, has been really excellent. As a matter of fact, if there's anybody out here, anybody here on the chats that has been reading the House of X and Powers of X series, on Sunday, I'm gonna do a live chat. Just talking with you all. I'm going to do a live stream, and I'm going to ask anybody in the comic book community if they want to come in and talk about the series so far and just our thoughts on it. We're going to geek out and nerd out. We're going to go ahead and do that on Sunday. Whether it takes 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever, we're going to do it. If that means I have to grab my phone and we're gonna do it all like that, and I'm gonna be outside grilling food and everything while we're sitting there having our 10-hour live stream talking about the House of X and Powers of X. And for anybody out there triggered, yeah, I said House of X and Powers of X because it's not a Roman numeral. It's just an X, man. If it's supposed to be Powers of 10, it needs to say Powers of 10 on there. Because otherwise, I'm gonna call it House of 10, Powers of 10. Make up your mind, Marvel. You need to tell me what to do in this case. This is one instance I need you to tell me what to do. These dang people. But yeah, I was going to say, could very well be one of the artists from Deadpool that's done that. Biden Cube. Got his eye. Are you lurking out there, Biden Cube? Are you lurking? Let's see. That comic sounds cool. Yeah, it is. Impact Neon Future. Really great book. Really great book. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be giving a copy away. And the only other requirement to get entered into that giveaway, he's got to be a United States resident so I can get it shipped out or anything. Because I'm sure international prices are absolutely crazy. It probably costs me more than the book does to ship it out. Let's see. The sentence says 3,000. Nice. Damn. 3,000. Dang. What'd I miss? I missed something. Daddy Pants says, my son just got here, gotta go. All right, man, take it easy, Daddy Pants. Let's see. Gotta get care credit for the cat. I think my wife did something like that for the cat so we can just make payments on it. And if you pay it in 6 months, it's no interest. 6 months. You better give me 12 months. That's what I'd have told him. Like, you better give me 12 months, no interest. Shoot. $3,000. Come on, man. We'll be a little rich. If I could afford $500 a month, I wouldn't be getting the financing plan, man. You know what I mean? Shoot, you better give me 12 months. Maybe I need to call up that place and say, hey, man, you give me 12 months. Mike L says, I got to show you a picture of my updated geek room. Yeah, man, do it. Let's do it. And Mike, have you been reading the House of X, Powers of X series? Let me know, dude. If you want to come into the stream on Sunday, let me know. We'll get on here and we'll talk about it. He says they all have all kinds of pet insurance now. Yeah, and as I'm saying, that's what we ended up doing now that he's broken his leg. We got pet insurance, you know what I mean? Like, after the fact. At least I had insurance, before the fact when I broke my collarbone and my ribs and my scapula. At least I had insurance when I did that when I was out bike riding last year. Let's see. Michael says, Darth Bico, it's been a while. I don't remember that name. But yeah, the ones from the 90s. Oh, we're talking about some of the comics. The sentence says individual comic would be more money, I think. Yeah, and it would just make more sense to get the individual issue signed as opposed to the trade paperback, because the trade paperback's never going to be worth money. And who knows if these issues are ever going to be worth money, but I don't know. I think I'll just rather get the individual signed. Or does that bring down the value in them? Or does it raise the value? I don't know. Is there anybody out there that's a comic collector that knows about that stuff? I certainly don't know. Maverick MX says the paperbacks save you a lot more money, in my opinion. They do. Trade paperbacks actually save you quite a bit of money, because like this one right here, paying the cover price is $15.99 US, and this is a five issue series. So $3.99 times 5, you're basically looking at $20 for all of those, plus tax and all of that stuff. Or here, this, you're paying for about 3 issues, maybe 4 issues in this case. So yeah, that's not too bad. You're basically getting an issue for free. So yeah, I mean, in most cases, trade paperbacks are a better value, and plus you get all of them there in one book, so you don't have to mess up your individual issues or anything. The only thing for me is like, I like the individual issues because sometimes if it's something I really like, I can't wait for the next issue. I can't wait for the, let alone a trade paperback. You know what I mean? Because in that case, you got to wait for all the issues to come out, which could be 5, 6 issues. So that's 6 months plus like another month or two by the time it comes out on a trade paperback. So I'm like, oh man, that's like 7, 8 months later. I can't wait that long. Can't wait that long. Dang, man. Dang. But yeah, they certainly are a better value. Um, Tommy says Maverick, yeah, true. Also nice to have a single book to look through as opposed to bunch sometimes. Yeah, that as I say that, yeah, like I said, there's it just kind of depends on what you're shooting for. I know a lot of guys will go out there if they have, because some of them, like the books have high value, so they don't want to pick them up and read them and do all that stuff with them. So you have it, you'll read it probably the one time, and then you'll wait for the trade paperback, so you don't have to touch it again. You can get it graded, you can get it framed, whatever nerdy things people do. I'm not a collector, man. I'm not a collector. But I do have a copy of Incredible Hulk issue 181, the original copy. I do. I got one. I got one. Yeah, I do. And it's not no, it's not that facsimile reprint. It's like an original issue, original copy. Um, Darth Biker says, yeah, from the '90s, Jim Shooter and Steven Mazarsky. That was when Valiant was awesome. Yeah. I was gonna say, I know they've been around. They've been around for a while, and it seems like most of my favorite books are coming out of publishers that have only been around the last few years. Like I said, Neon Future on Impact Theory Comics, they just started up last year. Impact Theory did. Now they've had their company longer. Um, but they just started this. I want to say just last year. It might have just been this year, as a matter of fact. Um, and then my other favorite publisher has only been around since 2016, and that's Vault Comics. And Vault Comics has been doing some really good books. Some of them have been like one of them is like Sarah and the Royal Stars, which is like it's a like a medieval fantasy tale. It's been a pretty good series where Sarah is and it's a female led story. She's having to go out and save the Royal Stars, who are basically they're the people who represent the constellations. And I was talking to one of my viewers. He made a comment on one of my videos, and it was a Shady Endeavor was telling me that like the names of these characters in this book are actually like the names of like the characters related to these constellations and things like that. Like so like they're not just like telling just some story with made up names or what. Like they're actually using like these actual people's names and stuff in this book. So I was like, ooh, I didn't know that, and I should, because like maybe I need to read up more books on the stars and stuff like that and constellations, because that's something that's always kind of intrigued me. You know what I mean? But they did like on Vault Comics, they've got that one. They've got the Necromancer's Map, which has actually been a pretty good series. It's certainly one that's not probably one that's not for everybody. But this one right here, the Necromancer's Map, this one's actually like a it's in like another medieval fantasy tale as well, and there's actually a character in here I didn't realize until this issue number 2 right here that it's a girl, and I thought it was a guy. What kind of name is Elisar? Elisar sounds like a guy's name. I don't know. I could be wrong, but hey, my name's Trinity, right? And that could be a girl's name, huh? Huh? But yeah, and that's out of Vault Comics. They've also got another one called Maul, which has been really good. Maul is basically in a post-apocalyptic future, and bunch of people have holed themselves up inside of Maul, and it's become basically like gang territory, and everybody kind of has their own faction of like stores or whatever that they that they're over, and they have wars there inside the mall and everything. Gang fights breaking out, crazy stuff, just crazy stuff. But it's been pretty good. Of course, I'm wondering like because it sounds like they've been in there for like a good generation or two. It makes me wonder like where are they getting all their food at? They didn't have that much food to eat to survive that long. So somebody's going out there and we're only on issue 2 of that book, so there's something going on in that book. Um, let's see. Uh, I still have all the comics in my closet. Yeah, man. Yeah. Gotta save them because you never know. Some of them are gonna be worth money. You know what I mean? The sentence says Marvel needs someone to tell them how to make good books for once in their miserable lives. And really, I think a lot of that comes down to probably like the editors and things like that. God, What book was that I just read? There was a book I read this week that actually had a really funny story in there, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "That is actually funny." Like somebody, it's right here. I'm pretty sure it's here in this Dark Horse. Was it in this one right here? Dark Horse Comics? I think it was. I want to say that it was. Yeah, right here. Right here in Dark Horse Comics. They're in this stuff right here, horsepower. You can see um, some of that stuff right here. Uh, they're telling this little story about this book called Spell on Wheels, right? Okay, so they're sitting there talking talking to this person. Let me see if I can find who it is. Just horsepower, spell on wheels. Like so many great stories of our era, a series of started as a series of tweets. And who's this being written by? Kate Leth. It's saying one mused day years back about one mused I mused one day, years back, about how much I missed the 90s era witch revival in media. Practical Magic, The Craft, Charmed, Buffy, etc. I had just rewatched Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. An excellent movie. And was killing time in a lift on Wilshire Boulevard. I mused with some friends and followers about what that kind of story would look today. Those witch shows, awesome and formative as they were overwhelmingly white and straight. Notable exceptions include Rachel True's Rochelle in The Craft, whose bully totally got what she deserved, and Willow and Tara on Buffy, the first positive portrayals of queer women I ever saw. How could that be updated? And how about a road trip? Um, then they go on to say here, oh man, where is it at? Um, uh, okay, right here, a little bit down. She says, Volume 1, I should probably just continue reading that. It says, the banter became a set of emails and a pitch shout out to Jim Gibbons for his help before he moved on to other things. And finally, Volume 1 of Spell on Wheels, which I was lucky enough to bring to life with Megan Levin's incredible art, Marissa Louise's spellbinding colors, and Nate Pieco's meticulous lettering. If you haven't read it, I'm biased, but you might like it. It's the story of Andy, Claire, and Jolene, three 20-something witches on a road trip to get back what was stolen from them. And it says right here, Volume 1 is queer. It's weird, and it may or may not involve a romance with a goat man. We had a lot of fun with it. I hadn't done an original project since Power Up over at Boom Studios. When you work with a lot of licensed properties, which I do, you get to know your limitations. By that, I specifically mean, how gay can you make it before an executive notices? Lucky for us on this book, that wasn't a problem. Without having to fight that fight, there was so much more room to explore our characters, our coven. They outgrew 5 issues. I left it open ended, a twinkle in my eye. Funny that we took a break after that book came out and yada 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 yada. Right there, but she said it right there, right? It says it right there. How gay can you? And she said, put it in quotes. How gay can you make it before an executive notices? Before an executive notices, right? Okay. How gay can we make it before an executive notices? And that's not about this book. That's not about this book is good. I like this book. And also I'll say just because a movie or a book, a comic book or anything is queer or has gay characters or anything in that or lesbian characters in that, I don't care about that. As long as it's well written, I can care less. Just same as any books or anything like that. But you could see just by what this author was in here saying, they're kind of being facetious and trying to sneak things in under the radar. You know, how gay can we make it before? Well, and that's the thing is like you can make it as gay as you want. I don't care about that. That's fine. But is it something that you have to shove in our faces every 5 seconds and say, well, you know, this is what makes me, this is who I am, this is what makes me the character that I am, is this. That's the problem. And that's what it sounds like she's trying to, like she's talking about here, just by the language she's using and everything. Um, Whereas, like I said, I don't care if they put that in there. That's fine. Like this book advertised here on the back, Ruby Falls. I did a review of this book. The girl here on the cover, pretty sure she's gay. She has a girlfriend in the book. Um, Pretty sure it's her girlfriend. If it's not, they sure. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they are. But the thing is like you find that out in the book, just like through the story, some of the stuff that happens. It's not anything the character has to come out and says, "Hey, well, I'm this," and that's you know what I'm talking about. Like it's okay. Like I don't. Most of us don't care. It's when you have sloppy storytelling and all that kinds of stuff when we care. So and that's the thing. It seems like this writer in this interview was they're trying to be facetious and get things in there like without it being noticed. So you're trying to put the stuff in there, just put the stuff in there. We don't care. But how are you putting it in there? That's the difference. And that's just like in this other book I was just showing you guys a minute ago, the Necromancer's Map. I found out these two characters right here. They're both girls. They don't make a big deal about it. We see them kiss in there. That's about it. I mean, we don't see them humping in the bed or anything like that. It's just that's not what they do. There are books out there that put that in there, certainly, which is actually one of the books that I bought this week that I didn't get a chance to read that I can tell you about as well. Like I said, it's all dependent on how it's written. You know what I mean? Is it something that they're trying to put a message out there and it's so on the nose that it's ridiculous? And is it agenda based? That's the difference. Because see, even like this one in Reaver. This one's like a medieval tale. These people were going out to try to get this. They basically all got poisoned by this king in this land, and they got basically blackmailed into going out and do this stuff, to get whatever treasure it is this king is after. And in here we see there was like a guy at a bar. They're in this bar. They're trying to get through these guards or whatnot, trying to infiltrate this certain base. And there's a guard in here that's at the bar, at the local tavern, drinking some beers, hanging out with, there's some girls in there, some girls, like a guy dressed up as a woman, and we see that they go out around back of the pub, and you see the guard there sitting there humping, the guy there, and it's pretty obvious that it's the guy, and we see that in this book, but again, it's not something where they're coming out and flaunting it and just saying, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing agenda based in it. It's just part of the story. It's just something that happens, and that's okay. I have no problem with it. I don't think anybody has any problem because that's just the world we live in. You know what I mean? It's when you guys know what it is. It's when we see a lot of what they've done in some of the Marvel comics where they're putting it on a whole lot of just so on the nose with like agenda based stuff like Marvel's what the one I've been done some reviews on, Marvel's Fearless, the fiercest female warriors of the Marvel universe. They're at this like all girls camp, and these female heroes come in, and, like they like Captain Marvel in there, Carol Danvers. She looks all super masculine, and just some of the language in there is kind of toxic. It's full of a lot of feminism, and like kind of toxic kind of feminism, and there's like agenda based stuff in there, and some of them, while like I get it, like some of the stories have different stuff in there, and that's fine. Like one of the books had they had this story in there where X-23 and Laura were going out to or yeah, Laura Kinney and God, who's the other one? uh anyway, the two female Wolverines are going into this camp, this detention center, to break free these children who have been separated from their parents at the border. Well, but it was like mutants, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. And to me, I read that, I'm like, I don't know anybody that's for that. I don't, all that stuff that was going on at the border, and between here and Mexico, where the kids were being separated for the parents. I don't know anybody that's for that. Okay, I don't care how you feel about your position on your position on the border with your politics. I don't think there's a man alive or woman alive that I've met that is like, oh yeah, we should separate these children from their families and all that. They deserve it. I don't know. I don't know anybody that's down with that. But this book makes it, like, is playing on that. It's like, yeah, yeah, we get it. Like, we're not the ones doing it. We're not for that. I mean, we didn't vote for that. That's just something. That's what they're doing. Like, I mean, what am I gonna do? Go take a gun and and go up there and get all crazy with the with the U.S. government because they're doing that stuff? No, I mean, at best you're gonna go talk to your congressman. You're gonna make a march on Washington and stuff like that, and that's cool. That's fine. Peaceful protest. That's cool. But like to put that in a comic book, like I'm just kind of like it's like lazy writing. You know what I mean? It's just lazy writing. Use some imagination. Make it something more than just something that's going on in our real life. If I wanted to see that crap, I'd just go watch the news. You know what I mean? I just get here on YouTube and watch some videos about that if I wanted to see that. And I'm not giving the excuse like like we see so many people talking about with the movies and stuff like, oh, this is escapist entertainment. This is escapist entertainment. It's not about that. It's not about that. It's about the fact that just write a story. Come up with a story. Like this one story was 3 pages long. 3 pages. How long? How hard is it to write a 3 page? I could get my daughters to write a 3 page comic book, and we could do art in it, and we could do all that stuff and do better than this 3 page story was, and make it about something meaningful without it having to be a direct reflection of what's going on in our world. That's what it's about. It's about good writing, okay? Because like I said, that situation and stuff at the border, I don't know anybody that's for that stuff. I don't know anybody that's like, yeah, yeah, separate those kids from their families, yeah, dirty Mexicans, yeah. I don't know anybody that's like that. I do know there's plenty of people who have strong feelings about the border, saying, yeah, we need to take precautions there. We can't just be hemorrhaging people into the country, taking advantage of benefits or anything like that. Just whatever, however they feel about it. That's sensible. I mean, people have strong feelings about that. I get that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any other country out there that just has open borders and just says, "Hey, come on in, guys." No, I mean, most places are worse than we are. So, like I said, I don't know anybody that's okay with that. But like in this book, like they had to go touch on that. It's like, come on, like you could tell that same story through hundreds of different ways, but you literally have them go down to the border and do all that stuff and same thing. Like, there's just no imagination in that. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's not about escapist entertainment or anything. It's about good writing. And it's like I said, in these books that I've read so far, here, they put some of that, like gay stuff in there, these queer things in there, these lesbian stuff in there. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that because it's just well written stories, in well written books. It's not people jumping out there and proclaiming all this stuff, and just like all these weirdos that we see out there, just on the internets everywhere. You know what I mean? You know, all those people you don't really meet in real life, people that don't really exist outside of college campuses and computers. Um, yeah, that's really weird. But yeah, so and that's like I said, I don't care about that kinds of stuff in the comic books. Just make it well written. Even in the movies, I don't care. And in the movies, in a movie, if you're writing and creating your own movie, hey, you put whatever in there you want. You know what I mean? Like I'm more lenient on that on movies, but if you're doing it with like Marvel movies, DC movies, like these franchises and changing these characters and stuff like that, that's the difference. That's what I don't like. You know what I mean? Like I said, just leave the characters how they are. If you want something that's like that, write the character. Just write the new character. But like I said, if it's a non-franchise movie, just somebody writing a movie about whatever, like I said, Kevin Smith is one of those guys. He's put a lot of gay, queer, lesbian stuff in a lot of his movies. Watch the movie Chasing Amy. That's what it's all about. But the thing is it's just a well written movie. It's just a well written movie. It has nothing to do uh, with agendas, people shoving stuff in their face, saying these things. A lot of this stuff that we see out there in the world. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just like I said, I don't mind it if as long as it's written well. But if it's what's the driving the story, that's when it becomes a problem because it's like, oh man, yeah. Unfortunately, we get a lot. We get a lot of that. Um, and let's see. Okay, whew, man. I guess it went off a little bit on that one, didn't I? Man, yeah. Anyway, Man, how you all doing it again tonight, man? How you all doing tonight? Let's see, we've got 9 people in here. That's not too bad, man. I appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be probably gonna go for about another 15, 20 minutes. Who knows? Um, Talking about this stuff, hanging out with you guys, man. You guys are so awesome for being here, man. You guys are awesome. You're hanging out with me on a Friday night. A Friday night. You know what? You know what I used to do on Friday nights? And certainly, well, I used to go out and get drunk and high and just, we'd party and have a good time with my friends and my roommates. And oh, we'd get out in the garage and 5x5 studios and record an album, record some music. Pretty good stuff, man. Pretty good stuff. I don't know. I'd actually play some of it for you guys if you wanted to. You guys want to hear some of it? Yeah, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna go ahead and get through some of these comments. Snow Dub, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. How are you doing, man? Staying busy with work. Trying to pop in on some chats when I can. Awesome, man. Thank you for being here, Snow Dub. And Snow Dub, can't wait for that. Is the Ribbit and Bigot show going on tomorrow? I hope it is, man. I hope it is. Um, hope you'll hope that's still going on, man. I know. I mean, you've been doing it regularly for quite a while, so. And one of these days, can't wait to be back on the show again, man. It's always fun hanging out with Snowdub and Kermit, man. If you guys haven't ever checked out Snowdub's channel, you should go check out his channel. And they're just fun dudes to be around, man. Like I been on their live stream once with Kermit and Jolly, the puppet, and they're just fun dudes to hang out with, man. They have a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Two Gun Pedro, what's up, man? How you doing? How you doing today, man? I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, it's a beautiful day here in Southern California. Got out after work, took my son on a bike ride with me when we went to pick up some cat food at PetSmart. And no, I'm not advertising for anybody, but it kind of sounded like it, didn't it? But yeah, we went for a nice little 11-mile bike ride. I put him in the trailer that I have that hooks up to my bike, and we was riding. It was fun. It was riding my bike. Mike L says, now I hear him talking, but it's moving in slow motion. Oh man, what is it? Freezing up a bit on my end. Oh, was it dropping frames a little bit? Dang it. It looks like it's doing good now. I thought I did see it dip into yellow. Oh yeah, see, there it is. Going into red, yellow. Oh man. I hate that stuff, man. That's the only thing that sucks about technology these days. Is nothing can ever just keep working for you. Maybe I just need to go in there and kick my kids off maybe it's my internet and I need to go kick my kids off the PlayStation. They're in there watching Daddy's Home 2. Can you believe my kids actually wanted to go see that at the movie theater? I can't remember if it was my mom or my wife when I was telling them, like, hey, what movie? You going to go take them to the movies? I'm like, yeah, they want to go watch Daddy's Home 2. They're like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, your kids want to watch Daddy's Home 2. All right, just say you're going to watch Daddy's Home 2 and you're taking the kids with you. And I'm like, no, I would have went. I wouldn't spend this money on purpose to go watch this stupid movie. I go watch it myself and spend $5 and not spend freaking $20 taking me and my kids there. I'm like, they asked to go see Daddy's Home 2 because they like Daddy's Home 1 so much. And if you guys haven't seen those two movies, those movies are actually, they're pretty good, but they're like family comedies. Will Ferrell, he's definitely not in his prime of comedy anymore, man. But him and Mark Wahlberg were so great in those movies, And we got in the part 2, they got John Lithgow and Mel Gibson coming in playing their fathers. just some great stuff, man. Funny movies. Now, are they the greatest comedies or anything like? No, but they're like some family comedies that like kind of push the envelope of being like, oh, how kid friendly is this? To me, for me and my family, they're pretty kid friendly. Even some of the stuff, some of the adult jokes that they put in there, some of the adult humor. But I think my kids get it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't shelter my kids by any means. You know what I mean? Maybe I should a little sometimes. I don't know. Yeah, talking about moving in slow motion. Dang it. Gosh dang internet. 19K Fox, what's up, man? How you doing? 19K Fox, 19K Fox, if you're going to be around on Sunday, I've been telling everybody I'm going to be doing Dylan's comic book rants. If you're out and about on Sunday as well, if you're gonna be here on Sunday, I'm gonna do a live stream. Probably gonna marathon it and see how long I can do it. Talking about the House of X and Powers of X series. If you guys have read that, and I know 19K Fox, I know you've read the House of X series. If you want to come on to that live stream on Sunday, I'd be more than happy to have you on there. Maybe I'll hop on through StreamYards or something. I don't really use StreamYards, but I typically just run through OBS, and then I can get on and I use Skype and run that in through OBS and all that stuff. To me, it's just easier, and I like that a lot better. But I'm gonna do that on Sunday, so hopefully you could do that. If you want to hop into that conversation, it'll hopefully be a good time. Yeah, stream a little choppy. Gosh dang it. Gosh dang it. And Dylan's comic book rants, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here, man. Kyle Carter, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being here as well. Um, let's see. The Lonely Banter says, "Well, a lonely man would rather not be doing anything but seeing you right now." All right, man. Hell yeah. Right on, dude. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Rosetta Allen says, "When are we going to stream together again?" Whenever you like, whenever I get the chance, you know. That's why, like, during the weeks, I do my morning movie chats. And like I said, I've been good because that's really the only time I have to do this during the week. Because in the evenings, I have my kids, and sometimes I spend time with them. Sometimes we're just sitting around reading comic books and shooting some videos and stuff. But that's why I do my morning live streams, you know, in the morning, because that's really some of the only time that I have between everything. I can do it right after I take my kids to school. But I am probably going to end up cutting that back to like 3 days a week, maybe. Keep it, a little less. And then what my ultimate goal with my morning live stream, the morning movie chat, is to get a regular co-host in there. Stevie J's reviews has been on a couple of times. Mads Mama Bear has been on once, and I want to get find somebody, and they're both great people to have good conversations with. They're well-spoken people. I just want to get somebody else on to kind of have some banter and stuff like that with. Like I said, I started the morning movie chat as kind of a replacement for John Campea show, because I know a lot of people out there, several people out there I know that follow me here on the channel don't like the John Campea show and still like movies and want to talk about movies. And if you guys have anything that you want me to talk about in any of those morning movie chats where I'm talking mostly about movies, always let me know. You know who I'd really like to get on that show with me to do that show with me 3 times a week? He's here in the chat right now. That's Lonely Banter. I would actually like to get him there on that show with me to do that with more regularly. Him and Stevie J's reviews, they're both good, and they kind of know their movies and stuff. And LB is a little more on the technical side. He knows a lot more like the box office number. He's a little more familiar with that kind of stuff. I'm not as good with that. Like me, I don't pay attention to numbers. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about all that stuff. I don't even care to look it up. I just love watching movies. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to do. I'm a nerd about movies. But yeah, if you guys can coax Lonely Banter into getting here on my show 3 times a week, but he's a busy man too. I know he runs his business and does a lot of that kind of stuff too. So I know he's very busy as well, and he may not be available at that time of day, because for him, when I'm doing that show at 8 a.m., that's already what 9. That's already 11 o'clock for me. That's the middle of the day. Where for me, it's just the morning. So it's not too bad. But yeah, we'll get together again, Rosetta. We'll get together again. Rosetta says sending you a like as my Marvel nerd buddy for my stream. All right, you out there streaming too, huh? Good deal. Yeah, it's Friday night. I seen actually tonight there's several people out there streaming, where it doesn't seem like there's usually that many people out there doing a live stream on Fridays when I'm doing this, and that's not why I ever chose to do this at this time. I've actually been doing this show since the beginning of the year at the same time every week. This has kind of really been like my staple thing, is the Trailer Park Live, because here, like I said, I talk about comic books, and that's how it started off. Is I was talking about comic books at the very beginning of the show, and then I just started talking about other things. And as I've kind of gained an audience, I'm kind of taken to ranting about things that have happened throughout the week. And this week, there's not really a whole lot for me to rant about. Nothing too major out there going on out there in the fan community, other than the same old same. No real, I don't know, nothing really juicy, or nothing that's really just kind of got me steamed up a little bit, this week. I think it's just because it's been such a great week. Because we just got, like I said, we just got House of X, or Powers of X issue number 6 from Jonathan Hickman, before it spins off next week into probably the next few consecutive weeks. We're going to be getting a bunch of these new titles coming out over the next 6 weeks. I think like there's going to be like Excalibur, Marauders, the New Mutants. I think there's going to be a new X Force. There's going to be the X-Men, And there's another one out there. I can't think of what it is. What is that other one they're coming out with? We'll just come here to our Marvel free previews and take a look. It looks like we've got X-Men #1. That's going to be coming out. That one's going to be done by Jonathan Hickman and Lionel Francis Yu, who's been doing the art. I think that's who's been doing the art in the Captain America series. But I will probably keep pulling that one because it's the Jonathan Hickman book. I'll probably keep doing that one. The next one they got is Excalibur. This is a new series that they're going to be starting as well, and that one's going to be written by Teenie Howard, with the art by Marcus Toe. And I might pull issue #1 of that of all of these just to get them, have the #1s, and see how they are. But I'm my local comic book shop has been more than supportive here of the channel. They would probably just let me borrow it to read and do reviews on anyway, because they're so awesome, man. You should go follow them over on Instagram or on Facebook. That's at Bases Cards and Comics, all spelled out at Bases Cards and Comics. Here's the next one getting ready to come out, and this one might be interesting too. That's Marauders issue #1. That one's getting ready to come out after that, and that one is written by Jerry Dugan and Matteo Loli. Loli is on the arts. Now, because I like Jerry Dugan's writing. I actually read a couple of books of his that I know I've read. I just did a review this week of Dead Eyes, issue #1. I read that book. That was actually a pretty good book. I actually do like that one. It's not a series I'm pulling or anything, but if it's something you're into, it's like about this Boston gangster from the '90s who was like at the top of his game. Everybody knew this guy, and he ended up retiring, and now he kind of sort of gets drugged back into it. But he wrote that book, and he's also writing the current. He's also writing Savage Avengers, and that series has been really good. I've liked Savage Avengers a lot. I know I've got the issue. What is it, issue #6 right here? This one's being written by Jerry Dugan as well. Savage Avengers, really good book. It's got like Conan, Punisher, Wolverine, Elektra, several different heroes in that. But yeah, Marauders is getting ready to come out. And then what else? What else is coming out after that? House of X, Powers of X. That is it as far as obviously was that this month. Yeah, as far as October, that's all that's coming out. Then the next ones are going to be coming out in November. And we can see right here, New Mutants is on the cover of that one. New Mutants is getting ready to come out. Ooh, man. This is another one done by Jonathan Hickman also, so I might be pulling New Mutants as well. But New Mutants is being written by Jonathan Hickman, and the art is Rod Reese. That's who's going to be doing the art on the New Mutants series, and that one's getting ready to come out next month in November. And so I'll probably actually pull that series too. Dang it! Okay, so I'll have New Mutants and X-Men that I'll be pulling. But Rod Reese is actually the guy. He just did the Bucky series, the Winter Soldier series. It was a short little 6-issue, it might have been 5-issue series here at the end of last year through the beginning of this year on the Winter Soldier. And I think he wrote that, colored it, and I think he did everything on that book. I could be wrong. But I'm pretty sure he did that. Then, the other one coming out is X-Force. That's a new issue getting ready to spin out of the new series that's come out, and that one's being written by Benjamin Percy with the art by Joshua Cassara. So, like I said, I'll probably pull issue #1, see how that is. And then after that, we got Fallen Angels, which is being written by Brian Edward Hill with the arts by Simon Kradansky. And, I'll go ahead and, that's a little bit different for Simon. I'll go ahead and show you that one as well. That's the Fallen Angels series that's getting ready to come out after that. So, I don't know. We'll see how those all are. Simon Kradansky was actually the guy who was doing the art on the Punisher series that just came to an end this past month. And I could be wrong. I didn't get all the way through that issue, but I think Frank Castle dies. I think Frank Castle's dead, man. So yeah, that's all the titles getting ready to come out on there. So I won't be pulling all of them, but like I said, my local comic book shop will, they'll be awesome and let me bring them home to review. Um, let's see here. And yes, and Rosetta, that was fun the other day when I came out doing my Myrtle character. I can't remember. There was somebody's like, "Man, you're such a good actor. You stayed in character the whole time." I'm like, "Believe me, that wasn't easy." Because I walked around the house for about a half hour acting like a nutso, and my daughter was sitting there because weren't in school. She's like, she's standing there. She's like, "What are you doing?" So I went ahead and started talking to her, kind of like started talking to her in the Myrtle voice. I was just sitting there talking to her for a little while, and she's sitting there like, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. Um, let's see, and this thing keeps skipping around on me. Um, my son is slowing me down on down to on damn PS4. I know, man. These kids using up all the internets. Um, let's see. Dylan's comic book says just watching El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. Oh, is that already out? That's on Netflix, right? I might need to check that out. But I've never watched any of Breaking Bad, so maybe I need to watch some Breaking Bad first. Dylan's comic book rant says, check my channel. I just dropped my weekly pickups. I'm trying to get my subs up. All right, yeah, yeah. Go check. Yeah, you guys, if you guys like checking out comic book content and Dylan's comic book rants, I'll make sure to go check that out. I think I subbed up to you a while back. Yeah, man, and you know what? The comic book community is so supportive. I said maybe send a note to go check out Discovery Bay Comics whenever you're getting ready to drop a new video. Let Discovery Bay Comics know. Just send him a message or something, comment in one of his videos. He'll put you on his schedule because what he does is he does like a show every day where he goes and says, hey, here's the new, the comic book community. Here's what videos are getting ready to come out or who's getting ready to go live today. And so it's something you should definitely check out. Darth Vader says, I already have a family. My late night fun hanging out is over. Yeah, me too, man. But actually, like, it's cool. Like, if I wanted to, I could probably go out and have drinks. My wife isn't going to get mad at me. I mean, she might be like, oh, yeah, you son of a bitch. You're going to go out there and get drunk and come over here and come home and eat all the fucking food in the house. Um, Dylan's comic book rant says, "Yeah, I'll definitely be there for the live stream. Like Powers of X and House of X. Yeah, yeah, man. All right, yeah. Make sure you're here. We'll probably do that on Sunday. I'm not sure what time we're going to start it, but I'll have all that stuff prepared and ready to go. Hopefully tomorrow." He said, "Man, I can watch movies all day long. Me too, man. And that's kind of what I used to do." Lonely Banter says, we'll do something next week when I get returned from San Antonio. Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. I mean, like I said, even if you just came on the show just once a week, then I could get Stevie J's reviews on once a week, and then maybe if it's Matt's Mama Bear once a week, or just I just want to find a good couple people to do that show with. Like I said, because I kind of started doing that. Because, like I said, there's people out there who don't like watching the John Campea show, and hell, I'll happily do a live stream early in the mornings and yeah, I don't know. It's been getting some engagement. Some people have been watching it and everything, and been getting good watch time out of it. So apparently, people like hearing me flap my gums early in the morning. You know what I mean? And it's always fun, when we get all the people on there and just start talking about stuff and hanging out. It's just a good time. That's the beauty of like some of these live streams and everything. Um, Darth Vader says Stevie and Mads are cool. Yeah, yeah, they're great people. Great people. Um, Let's see, where else are we at? Darth Vader says, my beer drinking is at home. Yeah, and for me, like, if I'm going to be drinking, that's what I usually do, too, because the beer I drink, it's 9%, got, like, 9% alcohol in it. It's pretty heavy, man. It only takes a couple beers, and you're like, oh, dang, man. Like, I get it from a local brewery here. Great beer. But, yeah, and it's good stuff, and I just drink at home, and, like, if I go out somewhere else, like I'm usually on my bicycle, like I'll take my bike because I'm not going to drink and drive. Of course you can get a DUI on a bicycle too, but usually if I'm on my bicycle, I know that I'm going to only have a couple drinks and not get to the point where I can't ride my bike. So it's kind of a way of helping me, know, like it sets a limit for me. It sets a limit. um Darth Vader says that's a cool comic shop. Yeah, man, they are, man. Basis Cards and Comics are really awesome. I said they've been so nice. They've actually they've allowed me to get my books a day early so I can get some of them read and bring a couple of videos, drop them really early so they get some high views. And they have been too, man. Like the House of X and Powers of X reviews I've been doing, man, they've been getting some hits, bro. Like YouTube definitely been pushing them or something because like most of those reviews I've been doing, they've been getting like 700 views each. And dude, I'm a small channel. I barely have, I don't even have 600 subscribers, and I'm getting that kind of views. I'm like, I need to do that. I need to ride that trend more. And so I want to make sure that, and like I said, they're more than willing to let me take some of those books home and read. And I'm so appreciative of that because, like, they said it one day, one of the days the owner said that. He's like, man, you don't, because he was telling me, he's like, man, you don't have to buy all these. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I just like it so much. I like some of these titles, but then, because he'd been hearing me talk about some of the Marvel titles, I'm kind of like, I don't know. And he's like, you don't have to buy them, like, he's like, I'll let you take a couple of these home and read them and do reviews on them and just bring them back, just don't beat them up or anything. Just treat them nice, like, and I'm like, sweet, yeah, for sure. So yeah, I've gotten bought a couple from there, to do some reviews on, and yeah, that's certainly very awesome of them because it's not anything they have to do, and it's not anything I asked them to do. They just like he wants to help me out here on the channel, and it's been beneficial so far, and I'm really appreciative of that. And again, I guess I've always been kind of lucky and blessed in my life to come across all the right people who have always been supportive and willing to help a brother out. You know what I mean? Um, Let's see. Mike L says, staying up a bit later than normal, but I rarely ever get a chance to watch one of your live streams. Yeah, man. Thanks. Yeah, thanks again for being here, Mike. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, it's been a while. We need to get together one of these days, man. I know you don't live that far from me. Email me or something. All my contact information is here on the channel. He says you better be watching Breaking Bad. I need to, man, because I've heard it's a really good show. And plus, I mean, what's his name? That's like the main character on the show. He's a great actor, Bryan Cranston. Love him. He's good. Um, Darth Tobacco says mine will get mad. That's funny. That's funny. Um, and 9% sounds good. That's good. I need that. Yeah, it's in this local bravery. It's called Bravery Brewing. It's here in town. It's actually, and I talked about it before. It's actually one of the co-founders of the local brewery was Arlie Ermy, the drill sergeant. Yeah, the gunny from Full Metal Jacket. And actually, his family is really awesome. They're really nice. Really nice people. And but yeah, I met his daughter, actually friends with his daughter on Facebook and everything. She's really nice too. And met his sons and all that stuff. But they co-own this local brewery out here, and yeah, they make some great beers, and it's a dark beer too called the Old Rat. Man, and I never used to be into dark beers, but this, man, it's just good. It's just good shit, man. That's all I can say. um, I think Team K Fox says, "Hell, man, you deserve the success." But yeah, thank you. And a lot of that is also due to you people being here and watching the videos, because I mean, it helps YouTube know, like, hey, like people are watching this guy's videos, and then start getting some views like on that, and then you get more clicks on other things, and it's really weird how the YouTube algorithm works, and it's something I don't know a whole lot about. And it's something that I kind of learned stuff about from Josh over at the Den of Nerds. One of my favorite channels. You guys, I've flapped my gums about them all the time. The Den of Nerds is one of my favorite channels, and I'm actually a Patreon supporter of theirs. And uh, I got a chance to talk to Josh on the phone here a couple of months ago now, maybe about a month and a half ago. Talked to him on the phone for a little while, and like he's been like watching my channel, like checking some of the stuff out, and so he gave me some tips. He gave me a couple of tips on like my thumbnails, and I was like that makes sense, like just like stuff that like you kind of know but you don't exactly know. Because like making clickable thumbnails, and just about how that works with the YouTube algorithm as well. So like if I'm like on a lot of the morning movie chats, I've been trying to, like, if I have a topic, I want to put like what I'm going to talk about on there, on the thing. Like today's, I just put like a little makeshift jungle cruise thing, and then I made along with the Charlie's Angels thing, because the YouTube looks at that and says, okay, we got Charlie's Angels image here, we got Jungle Cruise here, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, we got all these stars here, because I had my face on a lot of them, and he's like, YouTube don't know your face, you're nobody. He's like, I don't mean that mean. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But he helped me with that, making so like some of the improving my thumbnails, and then also just other things like trying to find like clickable titles as well. You know what I mean? Because because one of the things, if you're a content creator here, that the one thing you have to do to get your videos out there and get noticed is clickbait. Not all clickbait is bad clickbait. Um, But that's what you have to do to get people to click your title, your videos. You know, you got to get them to think. You know, like with House of X, like the House of X series, it's easy because everybody's searching for House of X. You know, like ooh, what about this comic? Who's talking about this? Let's talk about it. You know, so they want to watch your review. They want to see what you're saying. I've had a couple of mine. They got a couple of dislikes. You know, somebody didn't like what I said, or maybe they didn't like my interpretation, or they didn't like my review. Maybe they don't like my face. I don't know. But whatever it is, I mean, they still engaged and left me a dislike, and I'm like, yes, that's what counts. I appreciate your dislikes, people. I really do. I really do. Just as much as I appreciate your likes. To me, they're no different to me. You leave me a like, a thumbs up, or a thumbs down. I don't care. I'm shit. I'm happy you left one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shit. Better leave me a like or a dislike. Yes, yeah, that's right. But yeah, um, yeah, and certainly learning things like that. And Josh over there at the Den of Nerds, man, it really means something from somebody who knows what they're doing. But like he covers different stuff, so like the advice he can give me is really, I mean, like, but he gets it. You know what I mean? Because I don't make content like his, so I can't copy like his model of what he's doing. But you got to make a provocative headline, and then you got to put like that good thumbnail up there that's going to get YouTube. That's really going to pick up in the algorithm. And plus, I see a lot of people talk about tags, putting a lot of tags in the videos and stuff. Put stuff in your description. And I agree on the description thing because some people read those descriptions on there, but tags is a tricky one because I keep hearing all these different various things out there. People saying like tags really only help with the first 24 to 48 hours of your video getting it pushed out there in the algorithm through the searching and everything, and that makes sense. But also, I've seen, and again, these are channels that are huge channels as well, so that probably makes a difference. That I've gone to a couple of them. They don't have any fucking tags in their videos, like none. And I'm like, what? But they also have a huge following and people who come to them as well. But then I've seen some of them. I get on there and they have like 5 tags on there, and that's it, like 5 short little tags, and they have a bunch of views and everything too. I'm like, okay, like, but some of these are just like channels who have been built up and established and things like that, where people are actually seeking them out. Where I'm having to learn that and having to get into that algorithm, and House of X and Powers of X has definitely helped with that. LB says, yes, you need to ride that. Told you, bro. You on to something. Yeah. And they've been, and I should have listened a while back because on this Facebook group I'm in, this comic book YouTubers, one of the guys said that, he's like, oh man, he's like, I've been reviewing and he's really into the X-Men too. Like he knows his shit when it comes to the X-Men. Like he probably had like, dude, he loves his X-Men. I'll tell you that much. Like some of the shit that I have a problem with in some of these books, he don't have a problem with. Like he gets psyched out by them. They have I don't have. I've talked about them in some of the videos where we get some of these fluff pages in here, like 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 this shit right here, a whole fucking page wasted with just a little fucking two word quote right there. He loves those. He eats those things up, man. He's down with those all the way. Like this stuff right here. This is nothing. This is a title page, man. 2 freaking pages of title page. Like that stuff, I have a problem with. Like you sell, like you charging me $5.99 for this book, man. You putting all these fluff pages in here, especially this one. But this one, it has a point to it. Like all these pages, these first few pages in this story, like the first 6 pages of this book, they're all shit we've seen before in other books. We've probably seen all these scenes at least 2 other times. Um, but yeah, there's some of that stuff in here, and then like we go back in here and we get like some more of this stuff explaining stuff. Now this page right here actually has stuff that it means, like it's explaining stuff relevant to the story, and that's all fine. But then like some of them, like we get these Moira's journal entries and stuff like that. We get these kinds of things in there, and okay, and then we get a third page of them right here, and that's all fine because it's kind of filling in some of the story, and that's cool. But like for me, I always said like, couldn't they put a guidebook in there? But then like you get back here in the back, then we have a parting quote, one at the very end as well. A whole page wasted on that. A whole page, right? And then you go back here. Oh, and then the next page. Oh, we get these words right here because in one of the books they gave us what this alphabet means because it's in code. That's the Krakoan language, and they took a whole page up to tell you whatever it says right there. I didn't decode this one. But then we get this right here. We get a whole page with the reading order on it. They're telling us what order to read it in, right? How sweet. How many pages is that in this book? Look, then we get this one right here. You know, the quote, Stanley quotes, that's fine. But then we get a whole, this whole other page right there. And like, then you turn it again, and we get another one. You know what I mean? And you turn it again, we get another one. You know what I mean? You turn it again, we get another one. Oh, you're never gonna guess this. We turn it again, you get another one. That's fucking frustrating. $5.99 for this fucking book. Now, don't get me wrong. The story's good. The art is good. It's been worth it. But this fucking book doesn't need to be $5.99. They could bring it back down to $3.99 and get rid of all these fucking fluff pages in there that don't need to be in there. They're pointless. They're pointless. They've got stuff in there that you can decode and it says something, but again, it still amounts to here's what all that stuff in those last pages I just showed. Here's what it still amounts to. Is a little quote. A little quote. Again, they're lucky it's been a good series. That's my only gripe with this series, with the House of X and Powers of X, and it's mostly in the Powers of X especially, is those pages out there. $5.99. Put it back down to $3.99, the regular price of a book. Get rid of those fucking fluff pages that don't really mean much anyway. Leave the journal entries and the ones with some of the exposition, but like all that shit that's in there could have been crammed onto one page. And that title page that's on there could have been one page like it is in every other goddamn comic book out there. Okay? But again, I won't complain that much because the series has been good. It's been well written. The art in it has been good. That's been satisfactory. $2 extra for all that fucking fluff in there, though. That's not worth it. That's not worth it. That's where they need to stop. That's where they need to stop. How are you going to charge extra money for that? And then you're going to come up with an alternate cover of it that you're going to charge, that most of the shops are going to charge extra money for, or people are going to buy multiple copies of, or there's a little kid out there whose parents are buying him a book and they're like, I ain't buying you no fucking comic book for $6. But Dad, it's the last one in the series. I got all the other ones. I don't fucking care. Are you crazy? You're getting 3 books. You know how much that's putting me at? How much that's costing me? You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is. Like, get rid of that stuff. Here, I'll show you. I'll open this book up right here. Everything, okay? Let me show you here. Okay, right here we got this. This is part of the book, this is actually kind of cool. I realized what they were doing here. We got this looks like an ad, but it's an ad like for the book. In the book, because they're at a retail store. Look, we got story. I wonder how many pages we can go by the time we get to an ad. Oh, there's an ad. There's an ad. Oh wait. It's for everything, the store that's in the book. Okay, and go to the other page. Go to the other. Oh, there's another ad, but again, it's for the store in the book. And then, oh man, we got this ad right here for issue number 3. Towards the end of the book, and then okay, dang. Then we get 2 ads for their upcoming books. We get these. We got that at the end of the book. They put it in there. But if I went through this Powers of X book, I could show you more. You've seen while I was showing you in there. Aside from those fluff pages with a little one-word quote, there's ads in there also. There's ads in there on top of the fluff pages. $3.99. There's ads in here along with those fluff pages. You've seen how many fluff pages there was. I don't need to count them. You've seen how many there was. Along with ads. $5.99. Just bring that price back down to $3.99. Get rid of all that shit that's in there. You don't need it. You don't need it. But again, like I said, at least it's a well-written series, so I can't gripe about that. But then $2 extra, You're grasping. You're grasping. You know what I mean? Because it's bad enough that a lot of people out there. Now, here's the other thing: is a lot of people out there gripe about comic books cost too much. They cost too much. They only used to be $1.50 when I used to go. I used to get them for 75 cents. I used to get them for 50 cents. I used to get them for a quarter. For one, I mean, people got to get paid. They might sell more copies if they lower them down to $2.99. They might sell more copies, but would they? Would more people go out to? Would you if you're not reading comic books right now? Would you go out to your local comic book shop and be more willing to spend $2.99 on a book rather than $3.99? Would that get you into the comic book shop if they lowered their prices? Because if you're not already reading, you don't give a shit anyway, right? Right? So it don't matter. It's not like they're gonna get extra people into the comic book shop by dropping their prices by $1 to $2.99. But but what they get is me being able to afford more books, right? So you're essentially selling more books. You're getting more money because I might think about buying that extra book. I might, they're $1 cheaper. Like if I buy, you lower the price by $1 for after I buy 3 issues. That's like getting, I can get that fourth issue for the same price I would have got 3 issues before you drop the price down for $1. And that's just for your average comic book goer. You know what I mean? I'd say I'm an average comic book goer. I probably read a little bit more than your average guy because I'm doing reviews here for the channel and stuff as well. And I've just kind of, probably reading more than I should. But that's the thing is lower that price by $1. It's not going to get more people in the door, but people like me, people who are already there at the shop sitting there like, man, I can't buy this extra book, can get that extra book. And maybe you get one more or two more dollars out of them because they can get that extra book because you made the others affordable. Just something to think about. But like I said, I do understand at the same time too. There's the other argument to be made that these people got to get paid. I understand that these artists, these writers, they're putting in work to put out these books. But that's one of the other things I've liked about the indies, as opposed to like a lot more of the stuff at the Marvel and DC is they're putting more into it. In Marvel and DC, those writers and everything, they're working with established characters. Now, I could be wrong because I don't write comic books, but I would think it'd be a little bit easier to go in there and write a book about Spider-Man as opposed to writing a new indie title that you're trying to get people into, because these aren't established characters. These aren't people, these aren't characters that people like. So what do you have to do to get people into these new characters, right? You got to write a good story. You got to write good characters. You got to write good introductions to characters. You know what I mean? Ice Cream Man, absolutely. If you guys like horror titles, you want something to make you feel creeped out after every issue, you've got to read Ice Cream Man. This series is great. I heard about this series from one of my favorite channels here on YouTube, and that's Comics on the Pyre. You guys should go check out his channel as well. He did a review of the first trade of this series, because they've actually been pumping out trades on this pretty quick. Like, I think each one has like, I want to say 4 or 5 issues in it. I can't remember. I think it's a little less than normal. Maybe it's 4 issues in each one. And like, it seems like they're already on volume 3, which, volume 4 is getting ready to come out soon. This is on issue number 15. They're pumping them out quick. But this series is really good. And the cool thing about this series is it's an ongoing series, but they're kind of all like one shots. You don't have to know what's going on, what happened 2 issues ago to understand this issue. You get other books like The Witcher. This is another indie book. Just a well-written book. Crazy stuff, man. Just great stuff out there. But again, the indies just, because the writers have to work a little bit harder to write a good story to get you sucked in, to make you want to read their next book. Where with, over at Marvel and DC, they're like, dude, I know you're going to fucking buy Batman next month. Oh, you're not going to buy Batman next month? Oh, yeah? Well, maybe we'll just go ahead and put this crazy, this crazy cover on there with, implying this crazy story. And, oh, yeah, well, you'll buy it. You'll buy it. Oh, Tom King's done a bad job? You're buying his book anyway because it's Batman, right? The same thing with Marvel. They do the same thing with their characters. Now, not all of them are terribly written, but the thing is like the story still has to grab you in and want you to get the next issue, and that's what I get out of the indies books. is they write that story to make you want the next issue, and that's something they just don't do in a lot of these other books. Like I said, you guys know I love Spider-Man here on the channel, man. I love Spider-Man, but like a couple months ago, I did that video called "The Saturated Spider-Man." There was so many titles out, and there's still so many titles out based on Spider-Man. We've got the Amazing Spider-Man. We've got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. There's Miles Morales Spider-Man. There's Ghost Spider. There's Superior Spider-Man. There's well, right now, and you could probably maybe not count Venom and all that stuff, but right now they've got like the Absolute Carnage series going on. Is Venom still coming out? Did they stop Venom? I haven't really been paying attention. I think they're still doing Venom, but you've got all these things that are kind of spun out of Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's like just slow it down. You don't need that much. Now I will say though, I've actually liked Superior Spider-Man. I do like that. But like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man, these are both great series. Maybe take Amazing Spider-Man down to one book a month because they've got it bi-monthly, so you're getting a book every other week of Amazing Spider-Man. And Nick Spencer's done an okay job over there. He's done an okay job with the Amazing Spider-Man, but 2 books a month when you've already got Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man as well, and now we got J.J. Abrams Spider-Man out there too. That's another one to add on to the titles. The J.J. Abrams and his sons one. Um, it's like, just like too much of a good thing, man. Too much of a good thing. Just slow it down. Like I've stopped pulling. Like I was reading Miles Morales Spider Man. It wasn't the greatest, but it was okay. I stopped pulling that because I'm like, there's just too many titles here. I just can't read it. I might pick up the trade when it comes out. Um, and just stuff like that. Like, and that's the thing because they know that you're gonna pull the next book. They know like, oh, this guy loves Spider Man. He's gonna continue to get Spider Man. It doesn't matter. He's gonna keep getting it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm in to some point they've got me. They've got me where I'll continue pulling it as long as it's good, as long as it's not bad. And it's been decent enough. It's been decent enough. If you're out there confused, don't know what Spider Man to read, I would suggest reading Tom Taylor's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man over Amazing Spider-Man. And I hate to say that because I like Nick Spencer in his writing, and he's like I said, he's done a good job on Amazing Spider-Man. But Tom Taylor's Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man it's just that little bit better because it's more like the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, more of like Peter Parker stories as opposed to the big, more grandiose kind of things happening out there in the Marvel universe. So again, I mean that's one of the big things with like the indies and the mainstream ones. The big two for me is come on, that price, man, that price, dude. Um, let's see, where do we get here? Rosetta says you are really nice. I still want to stream with you again really soon. Yeah, we'll get it done. Mike L says, well, dude, I gotta get going. Don't want to be a complete zombie at work tomorrow, though it is better to zombie through work most days, right? All right, Mike, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here, dude. And like I said, get a hold of me, man. We need to get together sometime. Um, Mike says, "Yeah, I was one of the first to subscribe when you started." Yeah, you were one of the first when I started. I reached out to friends and family. I think as YouTube content creators, that's what we do is we reach out to our friends and family and get them to subscribe to us first. You know what I mean? That's you got to go with who you know, and that kind of helps you out a little bit. Um, Biden Cube says, "Image scan. Are you drunk 3PO?" No, I'm not. I'm not drunk 3PO. But I know Drunk 3PO, and I'm part of the Dark Council. It goes down every Tuesday. I would get on there and chat on some black guys and a drunk. So you've probably seen me around, Biden Cube. You've probably seen me around. I'm kind of a big deal. Darth Backer says that's a waste. Yeah, it is. Just so many fluff pages. Lonely Banter says I like the name House of X. Yeah, it's certainly a cool name. Kyle Carter says pages that could be used for extra panels, and that's it right there. Or like I said, like I feel about it, the story's been good enough and everything anyway. Just take those pages out and lower the price of the book. Just lower the price of the book. Maverick MX says $6 you can buy a freaking pizza. Yeah, you can. You can buy a fucking pizza for $6. You can't leave a tip, but you can get a pizza for $6. And you better leave a tip for your pizza man, if they're delivering it anyway. General Zod says House of X is good. Yeah, it has been good. House of X has been great. Powers of X has been good too, but it's more one like the issues like they're really mind bending. They really make your mind work to how they tie into the House of X series, and then like it's a trip. It's a trip, but it's been good. Um, LB says, is House of X related to House of M? Not really, but no, no. I mean, um, House of X for the most part is just the name of the series, because I think the House of M is actually basically at this point it's a place and it exists. But General Zod, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, Zod, hey again. Bouncing around. This is the most interesting stream. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I do what I can. I do what I can. Zod says I'm a sucker for source material. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I mean, like for the movies and stuff, I get like they still need to draw on the source material. It seems like lately they'll take the source material, read it, and toss it out the window. Um, again, I think they need to stick more to that source material. Even like even like the Joker movie, recently came out. I think they I don't necessarily know because I don't read a whole lot of Joker or DC comics, but I can't really say that they necessarily stuck to the source material as opposed to taking the character, lifting him out, and putting him into this like an other sort of genre type of movie, which was fine because I liked the movie. But that movie could have easily just been a movie called Joker and about a guy going losing his shit and going batshit crazy. You know what I mean? And I gotta get out to see that one again. Kyle Carter says, I just read everything online these days. Yeah, and I've got a like Marvel Unlimited. I've got that, but like I just honestly, especially for the indies, but there's just something better about having that actual print in your hand and reading it that way. I feel a lot more into the story that way. But I do like reading a lot of my books with the digital copies and stuff on my iPad and stuff too, and that's fine. I just like the physical copies a little bit more. Checkpoint, what's up, man? Says then you got Spider Side. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. They were overdoing it with Spider Man there for a while, and they still kind of are. Um, but yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button, like a comic page. Yeah, for sure. Um, and Checkpoint, thanks again for being here, man. Been a while since I've seen you. I'm sure, but I do see you on plenty of other live streams, man. So I know you're probably like a lot of us, when you're not. You probably spend a lot of time just watching a lot of different videos out there. I know that's what I do throughout the day, and I know I see in plenty of chats out there. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, Symbiote Spider-Man. Yeah, they did Symbiote Spider-Man, and that's one of the tie-ins as well. And see, and that's the thing is, I think right now they've got Miles Morales Spider-Man going on, and then they've got Miles Morales Absolute Carnage Spider-Man going on. I could be wrong there, but I think they do. Just like come on, guys, come on. Like the only thing is I don't know how well they are. I don't know how well they've been. Like I still got to read the Symbiote Spider-Man Absolute Carnage tie-in that they did. I went ahead and bought it to check it out because the same writer was doing that who did that Symbiote Spider-Man series. And they had the Life of Spider-Man going on as well at the same time. It was like, guys, come on, man, come on. Um, let's see. Dylan's comic book says I'm really excited for Dawn of X-Men to start next week. It's been one hell of a confusing ride with Powers of X and House of X. It has been, and I think a lot of that is because the Powers of X series and how it's tied into House of X and the way they did the release order. I think for the most part it's like that because the Powers of X, it's been more of that mind bending stuff where they're jumping back and forth in time, giving you the different stories and timelines and all that kind of confusing stuff. Like the story wouldn't be as good without it, but it's kind of also it's what gets a lot more people kind of like, man, what's going on here? I'm kind of confused. And I seen a couple other videos with some other people and they were making sense of it too. I'm like, okay, like they're basically getting out of it what I'm getting out of it. So I'm apparently I'm on the right wave of thinking here. But yeah, and that's one thing I want to do is I want to go through and read the House of X series and then read the Powers of X series first, or maybe read one, Powers of X and then the House of X, and then especially now that we know pretty much everything that's gone down on them, for sure. Um, Checkpoint says, yeah, Spider-Man is lost in Spider-Man. Yeah, there's just too much of them going on. Now, I will say, however, oh, Ruth from Star Wars for Life, Jeremy's Instagram fan page is here. What's up? How you doing today? How you doing this evening? Um, yeah, and I was gonna say the Spider-Man. One thing I've seen that they actually recently had in Superior Spider-Man was they actually had Spiders Man in there. And I first read about Spiders Man in the Spider-Geddon series last year. And Spiders Man, it was I would love to actually see Spiders Man in a movie, because I think it would be like one of those ones that's like maybe like a horror thriller kind of Spider-Man movie. Because like basically what happens is like him and Gwen Stacy, they're going to Empire State University or whatnot, and they were going through this research lab, and they had these all like, I can't remember if they were genetically mutated or just like the typical Peter Parker story, but he fell into this big old tub of this big old vat, almost like the Joker, right? In the Batman movie, fell into this big old vat of all these spiders, and they went and ate him to death. They went and ate him, and just like soaked up his essence, and then these spiders all became Peter Parker. Like they think they're Peter Parker, and they form together to make Spider-Man. And like his suit looks like a symbiotic, but it's all like spiders and everything. He goes out and fights crime. He thinks he's Peter Parker, but he ostracizes himself from Gwen Stacy. He don't want to be near or around her because he feels weird. He's like, man, I can't tell her that I'm not really me. She's gonna be weirded out. And like it's a really freaking great story. And I think they did like his main story in the Vault of Spiders through the Spider-Geddon series. It was a good one. I would actually like to see a movie based on that, because it would make for a great sci-fi thriller. Yeah, there we go, sci-fi thriller. It wouldn't necessarily be horror. It'd be horrific, a little horrendous, but it'd be a great sci-fi thriller for them to do. Man, it would be a good one. Kyle Carter says Miles Morales is my favorite Spider-Man. I agree. They do have too many Spider-Man titles. Yeah, it's just too crazy out there right now. It's just too crazy with the Spider-Man. Checkpoint says I want Man Spider. Do they have that? I was gonna say, do they have that? They probably do. They probably do have one. Um, uh, Ruth says I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm good. I'm listening from work. Thank you for asking. Great stream. All right, and that's what I was getting ready to ask next. Is are you already done with your shift? But because I'm sure you're probably working. I'm sure what you're doing. You're probably doing some long shifts. I would guess probably 10, 12 hour shifts. I don't know. I could be wrong. Um, uh, Checkpoint says a weird six-armed Peter. Okay, yeah, yeah. That would be, yeah. Man Spider. That's crazy. Darth Racco says, "Did you see Freddie Prinze Jr. Freddie Prinze Jr.'s rant on Star Wars?" I did. I did actually see that, and I only seen that because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. And it was funny because I think he was like maybe the only person I'm subscribed to that put out a video that quick. But Black Angus Reviews did a video on that last night, and I watched it, and I was sitting there watching. I'm like, "Geez, man, Freddie Prinze Jr. He seems, yeah, he's got a potty mouth. Freddie Prinze Jr. has a potty mouth." But yeah, I seen all that stuff on there. I thought that was kind of funny, man. He's just being kind of a dick, and I mean, I think a lot of celebrities are like that anyway. And people are probably out there like, oh my god, he's a dick. But I mean, a lot of these celebrities, they're regular people, well, somewhat regular people, as well. But yeah, I thought it was funny too, because one thing, one thing I liked about it was you could just see like almost like he was just fucking with people and he knows it. You know what I mean? Because you could see like he was on the thing and just the look on his face, he was kind of laughing, he was kind of chuckling, had a smile on his face, and like I was like, he's having fun at least. I thought it was pretty funny though. But I told Black Angus, I'm like, dude, you need to quit YouTube, bro. You're not clickbaiting good enough. That title for your thing needs to say Freddie Prinze Jr. confirms Raylo. But yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I thought it was pretty crazy. And again, I don't know enough about like the Star Wars lore and all that kinds of stuff to be really too nitpicky on Star Wars stuff. When it comes to Star Wars, I'm more of a normie fan. I like the movies. Not really into the EU or look getting into the lore and all that stuff. And for when I want to learn about that kind of stuff, I go check out my brother Lord Callus, because he's one of the greatest dudes out there that discusses about and knows about the EU. Plus, he just makes some fucking great videos. So I always go to Lord Callus. And the other guy I like to check out is RK's Outpost, Ryan Kennel. He does a pretty good job, and he's very fucking nerdy about his EU too. You know what I'm saying? Like these two dudes, they love Star Wars and they love some motherfucking EU shit. So if you want to know about that stuff, And you guys probably already know that's where you go for that stuff. Darth Racco says, I think he's having a midlife crisis. He could be, man. But like, isn't that the only thing he does? Like for his career? Is he just does that Rebels show? I don't think he has like does he really even act in movies anymore? I don't know. He probably should. I mean, I'm not saying he was the greatest actor or anything, but he was an okay actor. And hey, man, he's a decent looking dude. Like go out there and buff up a little bit. Go and get one of these Marvel movies or something. Go get a role being an action star or something or shit, something, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not terrible, but yeah, I seen that video he did, and I didn't see the full video. I just seen just part of whatever part of it was that Black Angus posted up, and yeah, I don't know. I always think I think celebrities are just funny in that kind of way, man. When they go out there and do some of these interviews and stuff like that. And like I said, it almost seemed like he was kind of joking and trolling at the same time because you could see even the host of the podcast was on there. He's kind of laughing and joking. They were just, it looked like they were having a good time. You know what I mean? And hey, it's all good. I'm not emotionally involved in these kinds of things like Brie Larson and her comments and the news. Whatever. I don't pay attention. I just, I hear about the story. I hear about it, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't really care what her thoughts are, like, because if I had to care about these kinds of things, I wouldn't go out and watch probably a lot of the MCU movies, because like Chris Evans, he's one of these, like, he's one of those deranged leftists out there. Mark Ruffalo, he's a fucking weirdo too, like, I don't care now. Like, I just, like, and I'm not one of those people that's gonna tell him like, just shut up and do your job. Just shut up and fucking act, man. Just make fucking movies. I'm not that either. They're people. They're free to say whatever they want, and so am I. And I'm free to fucking ignore them. You know what I mean? Just make a movie. That's all. I just want to see a movie. Occasionally I'll watch some interviews for like. When it's time for a movie getting ready to come out, so I can hear some cool stuff to have to speculate and build theories on. But other than that, fuck, yeah, I don't know, whatever, man. I don't put too much stock into those kinds of things. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I just don't. Yeah, yeah. Um, Tommy says he is getting high off of someone else's playa. He looks out there. That's funny. It says, yeah, I follow. Yeah, Lord Callus. Yeah, he's the man, dude. He's the man. But yeah, that's all I got for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the Trailer Park Live. Now, as I said, don't forget, guys. And I forgot, guys. I'm gonna apologize for this. I forgot to do my 500 subscriber giveaway. I just hit 500 subscribers. I was gonna do the giveaway last week because I just hit it the week before, and I'm already about to hit 600 or getting close to it. I don't know. I think I'm at like 560 subscribers or something. So we're getting close, but maybe on my live stream on Sunday, I will see if I can get those giveaways done. I've got a few giveaways that I'm going to be doing for that. Giving away some movies, and then I'll be having one again at 600 subscribers. But also, don't forget that on November 29th is going to be my 1 year anniversary here on YouTube, and I am going to be giving away for any of my subscribers who are based here in the United States, or at least have a United States mailing address. I'm going to be giving away a copy of a Neon Future. This is a trade paperback on Impact Theory Comics. This is actually my favorite indie book of the year out of this small publisher that is only making this one title. It's the only title they're making. It's the only one they got out right now. They are going to be coming out with a new series next year. I guess it would be volume 2 of, I don't know, with that, I mean, this is just a trade paper. Okay, yeah, it says volume 1. Volume 2 of this, the next 6 issues are getting ready to come out, I believe towards the beginning of next year, of Neon Future issue, I believe that'll be issue 7 will be dropping next year. I can't wait to read it, but I will be giving away a copy of this very, very beautifully written, well drawn, well colored book. This is my favorite indie title out there. I'm going to be giving away a copy of this on November 29th. I'm going to do a live stream. We'll figure something out. I think it falls on did that fall on a Friday? I think it fell on a Friday. So it's going to be a pretty crazy week. Maybe I'll get some guests here on the show. We'll have a whole bunch of things going on. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time, man, on that. And I'm going to be giving away a copy of this. And I think, what's this retail for? $15.99. But it's an absolutely beautiful book. Like I said, you can go through there. I'll show you, show you some more of the art in here. You can see more of the art in this book. Like I said, it's a cyberpunk tale um, that takes place 30 years in the future. I got some of the cover right there for issue number 4. More of the art. Just beautiful coloring in this book. Well written story. Um, and like I said, it follows a lot of the typical cyberpunk tropes and everything, but I think they're well aware of that in this book. Like, because they kind of almost poke at themselves. They like this like book takes itself seriously, but not too seriously. You know what I mean? Um, it's not like one of those things. Like, I don't know. They're just having fun with this stuff, and it's been a really great book. So I will be doing that giveaway on my 1 year anniversary, and that's coming up November 29th. So to get into that, you got to be subscribed and you got to leave comments in the videos. And yeah, but yeah, thank you all so much for tuning in to Second Street Marvel today. Now be paying attention because tomorrow maybe I'll see if I can do a live stream or something from while I'm there at the Comic Con, my first Comic Con. See if I'm gonna dress up and pull out my Spider-Man outfit and get all Spider-Maned up. My son's gonna be going as Night Monkey. My oldest daughter is going to be going as Alita, Battle Angel, and my youngest daughter is going to be going as one of the Descendants. I can't remember. And my wife is going to be going as Black Widow. Yeah. So, anyway, maybe I'll do a live stream. If not, I'm definitely going to be taking my camera. I'll probably get some video and stuff like that. I'll probably release some of that for my Patreon supporters first before I release it here for you all. But then, like I said, I'm gonna have a busy week going out and seeing some movies. Seems like it's been a while since I've been to the theater 3 times in a week, and I'm doing it next week. But thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel today. If you haven't already, please make sure you're subscribed and click that little bell so you get notifications anytime I have uploaded new content. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, give it a thumbs down. It's all good. I honestly don't care about that. But engage in some way. But while you're at it, make sure you share it with a friend and invite them to coming out with us here on the Second Street Marvel. Because we always have fun here on Friday nights on the Trailer Park Live. You guys are what makes this show so awesome. It's always a good time to be here with you. And I just appreciate that you guys come in here and listen to me flap my gums for about 2 hours every single Friday night. And even on those morning movie chats, you all have a very good evening. Have a great rest of your week. Be safe. And we'll see you all in the next video. Later. Oh, come on. What's going on? Oh, now it don't want to work on me. All right. Later.